Hello and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about New World. I'd like to start off by saying that this is the first time I've had my hands on the game, and I've put a fair few hours into the preview. I'm pretty happy. The game has a long way to go, and I'm sure the next 6 months before release will do the game well. It's nowhere near finished, but I'm pretty optimistic. But because the game has 6 months left of development, I'm not going to go through any methods of farming XP, because things may change. I think there are a fair few items that can be spoken about and worth learning before launch anyway. So today we're going to have a look at the gathering, refining and crafting systems in the New World preview. So to start off, we have 4 gathering types: mining, which is mining stone, ores that are used for weapons and armor, and precious ores that are used for jewelry. And you also have the chance of getting gems that are used for jewelry and going into the sockets of your gear. Oil is also mined to make steel. Second, we have wood cutting, which is cutting wood. Thirdly, we have skinning, which gets hides and meat. Meats are used for cooking. And harvesting is for fiber for making cloths. And herbs are for cooking and for potions. You can also gather other plants that are used for things called motes, which is for magic for the arcana. So for each type of gathering, you also have a tool. These tools are tiered just like weapons, and they can also have enchantments on. They also have a gear score that increases the speed of the gathering. The tier of the tool does not increase the tier of the gatherable. For you to get tier 4 or higher materials, you need to have a luck stat on your gear and as much pieces as possible. The higher the better. This comes in 2%, 3.5% and 5%. The max luck is 30%, that being your 5 pieces of gear and your tool with 5% each. A higher level in gathering is going to gain you 3 things: what you can harvest, what you can track, and the base gathering speed multiplier. Tracking means that the tracked object will show up on your compass at the top of your screen when you're close enough. It's around about 8 to 10 meters. During gathering, you also have the ability to get extra drops, like this sap. This is called a special resource. This adds a gathering skill luck perk to a crafted armor or tool, so the more trees you cut, you will get more wood cutting special resource items. There are 3 tiers of gatherables: tier 1, tier 4, and tier 5. To make tier 2 and 3, you have to get other components and craft them. These extra components are gained from mob drops and chests. For each tier of refining, you have to have some of the previous tier. It's somewhat of an upgrade system. The 5 refining types are smelting, which is smelting ores and precious ores. Wood cutting is refining planks. Leather working is, making leather. And weaving is making different cloths. And lastly, stone cutting is for refining stones, which is used in towns and fortresses. Those 5 are all identical. You can learn one and then you've learned them all. The amount of crafting to the next tier is the same for all 5 of those. Gem cutting comes under stone cutting and is the refining of gems to make them usable for sockets and jewelry. Now on to crafting. There are 7 crafting types. Unfortunately, this is where the knowledge of the preview comes to an accurate guess. Because of the way the towns work and the time it takes to upgrade the settlements and therefore the life skill stations, the towns in the preview, it's impossible to actually craft much stuff above tier 3. And the 7 different crafting types are weaponsmithing. This is used to make your melee weapons. Armoring is used to make cloth, leather, and metal armor. Engineering is used to make ranged weapons and ammunition for those weapons. Jewel crafting is used to make necklaces, earrings, and amulets. Arcana is used to make staffs, so fire and life staffs, and the potions as well. Cooking is used to make different foods, and furnishing is used to make furniture and trophies for your house. Whatever item you're making, e.g. a hammer, you need the same amount of materials, just in the correct tier, and tier 5s also need 1 extra item to make. When crafting something, each item is tier based and gear score based. You unlock the tier by being a certain level in that skill, but you also need to craft that gear at a station with a high enough level. When crafting, you also have the ability to add extra primary resources to an item up to double to increase the chance that it can have a socket. You can also add Azoth to increase the chance of a perk, and like I mentioned before, if you have a special resource, you can add a specific perk to that item. These special resources come in gathering percentage luck bonuses, damage mitigation, weapon damage modifiers, flat crafting bonuses, and luck. The gear score is a random chance between the minimum and maximum. The minimum is the tier times 100, so a tier 3 would be 300, and the maximum is based on your level in the skill and the equipment you're wearing. And that summarizes weaponsmithing, armoring, engineering, jewel crafting, and arcana. They are all very similar. The only thing to add would be the random items that stand out. You can use armor crafting to make bags that increase your carry weight, and weapon crafting, gunpowder for muskets. The two crafting types that stand out are cooking and furnishing, arguably the most important skills in the game. Cooking is used to make a huge amount of buffs. These buff you against all types of damage. They can buff every single crafting and gathering type, and they can make dyes. Most people think furnishing is for RP and making your house look pretty, and it is, but if you get high enough level, you can make trophies for your house, and you can gain a permanent buff that affects you anywhere in the world. These are the same buffs that you can get from food, but they include luck as well. And there you have it, an in-depth look at the current state of the life skill system. I hope you enjoyed and learned something, and if I missed anything, please let me know in the comments.